everyone. Welcome to Topic of the Day. In this edition, we will discuss about the International Court of Justice, the ICJ that is headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. Now, this was in news recently as Ukraine filed an application against Russia before the ICJ. And the reason being, Ukraine has accused Russia of falsely claiming that acts of genocide have occurred in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions of Ukraine. Now, these are the very regions of eastern Ukraine which were declared as independent countries by Russia a few days back. Russia uses this claim as a pretext to recognize the independence of these regions and of going to war against Ukraine. Now, this dispute is concerning the 1948 Genocide Convention. So, what is a genocide? Genocide is deliberate and systematic destruction of a group of people because of their ethnicity, nationality, religion, or race. Now, let us talk about what is the International Court of Justice. This is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. It was established back in 1945 by the Charter of United Nations and began working in April 1946. It is headquartered at The Hague, Netherlands, and the remaining 5 organs of the United Nations are headquartered in the New York City. The official language is English and French, and ICJ is the successor to the PCIJ, that is the Permanent Court of International Justice, which was set up by the League of Nations in 1922. Now, as we know that post-World War II, the League of Nations became the United Nations, and the PCIJ, Permanent Court of International Justice, became the International Court of Justice. Judge Jose Gustavo Guerrero of El Salvador became the first president of ICJ. So, what are the roles and responsibilities of ICJ? It settles legal disputes submitted to it by the states in accordance with the international law. Also, it gives advisory opinions on the legal questions referred by the authorized United Nations organs and specialized agencies. The judgment of ICJ is final and technically binding on the parties to a particular case. If we talk about the composition, there is a panel of 15 judges that is elected by the United Nations General Assembly and the United Nations Security Council for a 9-year term. The court may not include more than one national of the same state. 1/3 of the court is elected every 3 years. In addition, the ICJ gets jurisdiction only if the parties consent to it or go for it for advices or judgment. Now, let us talk about India and the International Court of Justice. India has been a party to a case at ICJ on 6 occasions, 4 of which have involved Pakistan. And as we know, the recent one was the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. Now, what is the Genocide Convention? Post World War II, first human rights treaty was adopted by the United Nations to address humanitarian issues. Genocide crime can take place both in the time of war as well as in the time of peace. Now, definition of the crime of genocide is also included in the 1998 Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. When we talk about the International Criminal Court, it was established in 2002 and it is independent in nature, unlike the ICJ, which is official court of the United Nations. The ICC may receive case referrals from the United Nations Security Council, and it can initiate prosecutions without the UN action or referral. It is also headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. Now, India is also a signatory to the Genocide Convention. Now, let us take up a practice question on this topic. Which of the following statements is not correct? A. The International Court of Justice judges have 9-year non-renewable term. B. International Court of Justice has a jurisdiction to try individuals accused of war crimes or crimes against humanity. C. The International Court of Justice is not a criminal court. And D. The International Criminal Court is not a United Nations organization. You have to choose the statement that is not correct. You can write your answers in the comment section below. So the correct answer is B. That is, the second statement is not correct, as the International Court of Justice has jurisdiction over the UN member states and not over the individuals. Statement 1 is correct. ICJ judges have 9-year non-renewable term. Statement C is also correct, as International Court of Justice is not a criminal court. And statement 4 is also correct. Here we are talking about ICC, International Criminal Court, and not the International Court of Justice. So ICC is not a United Nations organization. Therefore, the correct option is B only. So this was all for today's topic of the day. For regular updates, you can follow us on our social media handles. And for more such videos, do stay tuned to the Next IAS YouTube channel.